Hey guys, it's Chris and welcome back to another Mandalorian video. Chapter 7 has now released, called The Reckoning. They released it early this week because of the Rise of Skywalker this weekend, so they didn't want it to conflict. And I gotta say, man, right off the bat, Deborah Chow directed this. She's the one who directed episode 3. This is probably my favorite Mandalorian episode so far. I mean, they've all been really great, but this one was really, really good. So let me just say, can we just get Deborah Chow to direct, like, all of them, like, in perpetuity? First, let me say this video is brought to you by my great Patreons. I really appreciate the support, you guys. You guys keep this channel going as we try to navigate this new YouTube algorithm. So if you like these videos and you dig what I do here, please consider supporting this channel on Patreon. All the links will be in the description below. Anyway, Deborah Chow directed episode 7, The Reckoning. So like I said, this is probably my favorite episode so far overall because they started to finally ask some of these questions we've been wondering about what's going to happen with these characters. Are they just going to be one-offs? Are we going to see them again? Baby Yoda being a Force user and them not really understanding it. And it's been a couple episodes since he's really wondered what he's doing and what that was and what this magic-y stuff is he has. And of course, we did see the other characters that we had seen previously before. We get to see Apollo Creed again. He wants to actually hire the Mandalorian, so he contacts him and says, look, I got a job for you. I'll forgive you for all this other stuff and get you good status with the guild again if you'll do this job for me. And he wants him to come back to the planet Navarro, I believe it's called, to kill the Imperial former Moff who hired him in the first place to get Baby Yoda. We see him return to pick up Kara, who is the bounty hunter that he ran into on the planet that he was going to basically leave Baby Yoda at in the previous episode to get her help for this. He knows it's going to be dangerous and probably a trap and all this kind of stuff, but he needs to get it done because like we've been saying the last, 4 or 5 episodes since Baby Yoda appeared, it's just going to be basically the same plot every single show that, bounty hunters are after Baby Yoda sent by the Empire or former Empire or whatever. And it's just going to keep happening until they go take care of the actual source of the problem. So he picks up Kara, he goes back and picks up Quill again. I have spoken. And Quill, by the way, had turned in old IG-11 to a servant droid essentially now. And there's still, something going on with that droid. He keeps staring at the droid, and the droid's, it's kind of building up to something happening with IG-11 being the former bounty hunter droid that he ended up shooting in the second episode when they found Baby Yoda in the first place. So they brought back all the characters that you thought maybe just one-off characters, just basically with small parts or whatever. So they will be heading into next season, I'm sure. And this one actually ended with a pretty damn shocking cliffhanger. So this one had a few oh shit moments for me. As before, you kind of expected the last few episodes what's going to happen. This one, they really turned it up a notch and started asking some of these questions. And I guess we'll get some answers the last couple episodes. But what I really liked is when they were on the ship, or they're heading back, and he had picked up Kara, he had picked up Quill, and the Mandalorian and Kara were arm wrestling, and of course the Baby Yoda thought that she was somehow hurting him or they were enemies or something. The Baby Yoda actually reached out and force choked her. That is a dark side power. That was pretty damn cool to see, actually, that a little Baby Yoda who's not trained to be a Jedi yet or a dark side user or any of that stuff actually force choked her, and the Mandalorian had to stop Baby Yoda and say, stop, we're actually friends and all this stuff. So really, really powerful for somebody who's not been trained. Obviously, he's 50-year-old and still a child, still a toddler, essentially. And I do think they're going towards this resolution of, finding out about the Force and all that stuff, as we kind of speculated when we first saw Baby Yoda that he was Force sensitive. So I thought that was pretty damn cool that Baby Yoda, who has no training in the dark side, light side, he's just a pure raw talent Force user, I guess kind of like Rey in the new Star Wars trilogy, force choked Kara, and I thought that was pretty damn interesting because that's usually considered a dark side power. So they go back to Navarro, and Apollo Creed meets up with the Mando with some other bounty hunters, and they have this so-called plan to go in and kill this former Imperial Moff or whatever. So they met in some remote area of lava fields on this planet Navarro to go into the city and have some kind of plan to kill him. And first they camped out overnight or whatever, and I just thought it was funny. They were sitting there around the campfire, and just out of nowhere, Drogon and Rhaegal came in and swooped down and stole their food and tried to kill everybody. I mean, I guess they were hungry or whatever. Apollo Creed, he got injured pretty badly, had big claw marks deep into his arm, so it was a pretty nasty wound. And of course, again, we get another surprise with Baby Yoda. We get him walking over and finally succeeding in doing what he tried to do the last couple episodes. He does actually heal Apollo Creed's wounds completely, so you actually saw it happen. I think he finally realized, the Mandalorian did, what he was trying to do in the first place. He wasn't going to hurt him because Carl Weathers was like, he's trying to eat me because he saw him eating the meat from the dog thing they had cooked or whatever, and he actually heals his wound completely. I thought that was pretty cool. That's a cool force power. That's not necessarily that new. That's been a force power in video games at least for a long time, but you never seen that in a movie or on a TV show, obviously. So pretty damn cool to actually see that. He ends up saving him basically because he was going to die of some kind of poisoning from these dragons. Another really cool force power we saw from Baby Yoda. So now they're bringing the force into it a little bit more. And I just thought it was a great scene where the dragons flew in and tried to steal their food. So they head back to the city, and I really dug all this. You had more of an Imperial presence, although the Empire is not technically a thing anymore. You still have these pockets of Imperial power or whatever, so you saw more scout troopers this time, more stormtroopers. They come up with this plan to go in and pretend like the Mandalorian has been captured by Cara, being another bounty hunter. She had covered up her tattoos, showing that she was a rebel shock trooper. It seems to be working out okay because Baby Yoda had been taken back to the ship by Quill to be protected there. And then this death squad standing outside of this other Imperial moth that had contacted this other Imperial guy, whatever, and they shoot inside the building and kill everybody except for the Mandalorian, Cara, and of course Carl Weathers. The Mandalorian's telling Quill to get back to the ship as soon as he can to put it in some kind of mode so nobody can break in and take Baby Yoda. The scout troopers pick up on this transmission and go out and find his location somehow. This old Imperial troop transport comes down and brings a lot more stormtroopers, and you saw the Death Troopers, and then a TIE fighter flew in, and I thought this was cool. I've never seen this on a TIE fighter before. The wings folded down when it landed, so this Imperial moth, this former Imperial moth, who we saw in the trailer, came out, and he basically says, you have something that's mine that belongs to me, and apparently he knew they really didn't have Baby Yoda, so I don't know how he knew that, but the two scout troopers go out to try to catch Quill before he gets to the ship, while the Mandalorian, Cara, and Apollo Creed are pinned down, so they're trying to work their way out of this, and they don't really have Baby Yoda with them. The scout troopers apparently caught up with Quill before he got to the ship because it ends on a little cliffhanger that we're going to see obviously next week. The follow-up to this, Quill is apparently dead now, their first real death in the series as far as a character that we have come to kind of love and enjoy. He has spoken his last time because he was dead. The scout troopers caught up with him apparently, and Baby Yoda was laying on the ground too, and he snatched him up. So I don't think Baby Yoda's dead by any means, but he looked like he was maybe knocked out or hurt, whatever. The scout troopers pick him up as the camera pans away, and you see Quill laying on the ground. He never made it to the ship, and somehow the scout troopers actually won this time. The last time we really saw them was Return of the Jedi, and they were pretty incompetent as usual, but this time in this show, they're making these people serious. It's not so much cartoony where they miss all their shots or whatever, but you had the Death Troopers out there too. So this is really going to tie into, whoever he's working for, this new Imperial moth. And I think it's going to be somebody relatively powerful in this timeline, somebody like Snoke, for example, because they obviously want Baby Yoda for his force powers. And we've already seen the Camino cloner or whatever in the previous episode. So really, really good episode. Really kind of a couple shocking moments for the first time. It wasn't just a standard cowboy show or whatever. And it actually started digging into the questions, the deeper meaning behind Baby Yoda and why he's around in the first place and who wants him and all that stuff. So we'll finally get some answers in the next couple episodes. Only 2 more to go before the season ends, and we're on to The Witcher December 20th. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. How did you rate this episode compared to the rest of them? And do you think Deborah Chow should just completely take over the whole entire show and direct every damn episode? And I do know that she will be working a lot on the new Obi-Wan series coming out as well, so I really look forward to that. If she's directing the damn thing, I can tell you it's going to be a damn good episode. Anyway, guys, as usual, thank you for all the support, especially to you guys on Patreon, and a huge shout out to my executive Patreon SmokeScreen producers. And of course, if you dig what I do here, please give these videos a like, comment, and a share, and be sure to subscribe to get everything, and click that notification bell so you're notified when I drop a new video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.